Well, this is the third iteration of the Operation Reclamation series, in which, with all the other chaos engulfing the globe, the government of the United Kingdom sends a British reclamation force to reclaim the United States for the crown.
I was really excited for this game because this was the first time that I was ever actually leading a team. That was something I was a little bit nervous about, but I had a lot of fun doing it. So the first game that we played lasted about 3 hours and was probably my favorite game throughout the day because it was super intense. There were 3 main objectives on the field that the BRF forces had. We were able to capture some and then they would take it back, and it was kind of like a back and forth, almost like, you know, waves going back and forth, heavy suppressive fire all across on both sides of the field. So a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
Now, our strategy for the second evolution consisted of trying to find the intermediate range ballistic missiles set up by the British Reclamation Forces. Commander Chaos sent his platoon along with the mobile respawn point around the right side in the hopes of keeping up the assault, whereas Daniel and myself led our platoons around the left side in another wide flanking maneuver. Sadly, the foliage was very thick, and with the British Reclamation Forces in very hardcore defensive positions, we were unsuccessful in taking the ballistic missile away from the British Reclamation Forces. Portland, Oregon has been wiped off the map by British forces.
My loadout for the day started with the BDUs that you guys see me wearing here. These are the LBX multicam BDUs since we were on the American side. The gun I was using all day long was a G4 that was bone stock with the exception of a Miracle barrel. I was so effective all day long that I was mostly going on semi and just hitting people way out in the distance through all the woods and brush and trees.
So I was rocking my LM4 with about 10 LM4 mags, which, you know, adds a lot of weight on, but I love firing that gun, so it's totally worth it. I had a rail cover that had an American flag on it because freedom flows out of the gun, and I also had a PTS Go Gun gas pedal, which helped stabilize the gun when I was in certain firing positions. I was also rocking an NX MI7 face mask, and it was the first time I had a full set of multi-cam camouflage, which it felt pretty cool, and it was nice to have that because it made the day a lot more comfortable.
Fighting in a wooded area is definitely really challenging. I came from a more CQB background of more indoor fields, but this AO was, you know, all just brush and trees that were actually very thin. You couldn't even hide behind them completely for safe cover. I remember a point where there was like 5 or 6 of us just to assault. We couldn't even, you know, be crawling on our knees. We'd have to be like full down on our bellies, and we're just, you know, army crawling on the ground just to gain a few feet and then, you know, pop up and shoot and then do it again. And that was really effective, but it was pretty intense because you never knew where the BBs are coming from. I think in the end we did lose because Ed has a really well organized team that communicates all flawlessly from what I was seeing them do. We would poke at their weak spots and we'd hit them hard there. They reacted as quickly as possible, and it was almost too quick for us because we couldn't punch through their lines fast enough and then hold a position. My advice to a newer player that may want to try one of these events for the first time is just get out there. You know, I know it can be kind of intimidating or a little bit scary for the first time, but you know, this event specifically, you know, it wasn't full-on milsim, but it wasn't just a normal pickup game. You can get out there with basic BDUs and a basic AEG and get out there and have a good time. So I would say don't be afraid and just try it. You know, we're shooting at each other, but everyone's so friendly. So when you get out there, you know, talk to people and let them know, hey, I'm new, you know, can you give me any pointers? You know, if you guys went to this event, I hope you guys had a great time, but also, you know, be sure to stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot more events coming up later this year.